Hideo Kojima's new studio is making a game. It's called Death Stranding.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we know. See you next time.
That one, yeah.
No, just kidding. We know a lot more than we initially thought. Isn't that right? Liam and Mike, who are with me right now.
Yep.
You being Jake.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't matter though, does it? Because like Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding, I am shrouded in mystery. Although the new Death Stranding trailer gave away a lot more than the previous trailers that we've seen.
Yeah, it certainly did.
We've seen 8 minutes in this last trailer, and it's the fourth trailer for the game since E3 2016, and there's 25 minutes worth of trailer now online. How very Hideo Kojima. First things first though, what do you guys think about not only the trailers specifically, but I guess the approach to this game? The fact that we've only seen very weird vignette-y bits that don't kind of seem to be connected apart from Norman Reedus. How do you feel about it? Are you into it, or do you think, I don't know, it's a little bit pretentious or whatever?
I like it. I think it's part of, it's Kojima, isn't it? He likes being mysterious. He likes doing something fresh every time. He pretty much won't make a game unless he's got a new fresh gameplay mechanic to put in it, and Sony keep advertising it as a genre defining game, and so I think it makes sense that they want to keep it hidden, and because they don't want to spoil it before putting it out there. So yeah, I
guess I would say that Kojima Productions have a very close hand in the marketing of it as well, mainly because Sony wouldn't have a clue what it is and how to show it off. So I imagine more than usual the studio has got a lot of contribution to the marketing strategy and stuff, and how things are being revealed and stuff. Because it's been heavily cinematic, and this is only now we've seen some gameplay. But even then, there was no UI or anything like that. Maybe there won't be a UI in it, but it was more like flavor of what the game's going to be like, rather than here is the game in action.
Yeah, I think that Hideo Kojima himself on his Twitter, as he always is, was tweeting images of him editing the trailer himself.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So like you're saying about him or the studio being at least partially responsible for the market, and he himself seems to be
editing.
He's making those trailers himself.
Yeah, exactly. Which is just, people, if you're kind of outside of the Hideo Kojima loop, this guy is hailed as a god by lots of people, basically. He made this little thing called Metal Gear Solid. He's been working on it for about what? Well, Metal Gear is 31 years old. I think it came out in 1987.
Series,
He's been working on games for years and years and years. And obviously, him and Konami had a bit of a spat, and to say the least, really. And now he's got his own studio, and he's been working on this for some time. It's kind of a star-studded cast. He's having the time of his life. Basically, that's how I see it. He's hired Norman Reedus, Mads Mikkelsen, Lea Seydoux from Spectre, the James Bond film, and Blue is a Woman's Colour, and the bloody Bionic Woman, Lindsay Wagner, from that show from the 70s. More on that in a little bit, but it seems hugely cinematic. And the question that some people have been asking is he trying to, I guess, do a bit of a David Cage and get the game to be seen as more of a cinematic thing than an actual game, or is he trying to, what's the word, really make it legitimize,
and that's something that was outright put to him, and he says that he's not trying to do that. He's just surrounding himself with these faces because I think he just wants to do it. He's not trying. He's not trying to make a movie that is a game.
I've seen people say it's just Sony cut him a blank check, so now he's getting to fulfill all his childhood dreams of hanging out with
he literally said
his favourite actors and stuff.
Here's an extract from the quote he's given in response is, for me it was more about working with people I trust and people I like to work with. So and he's a big fan of pop culture, obviously. If you check out his Twitter and stuff, it's full of movie stuff constantly. He's always showing off the Blu-rays he's been buying and stuff like that. So he's obviously just going, I like that person. Yeah. I want them in my game. There they are. I don't think he's got any broader agenda of trying to make it the most cinematic game ever and all that. He's not that. He is incredibly pretentious in some ways, but not in that way. I don't think I don't think he is in the kind of I'm trying to make a serious game here. He's more trying to be as abstract and crazy as possible.
And I guess that's really shown in the stuff that we've seen, because we still don't know much about it. So in this latest trailer, we saw a little bit of what you could consider gameplay. It was rendered in real time in the engine, so you can call that gameplay if you'd like. And it was basically a man walking around the various things on his body, another body or a baby
or some packages.
Yeah, he is essentially a postman, right? And that's something that people have been speculating about this on the internet, but now it's pretty much confirmed that Norman Reedus' character, Sam Porter Bridges, as he's called in that, works for a delivery company called Bridges. And there was also a woman in the trailer who was played by Leah Sado, who by the looks of it is also a delivery woman, but for a different company. She's got her company on the back, Fragile Express, it said.
Yeah.
And Sam works for Bridges. And she even says to him, like, do you want to come work for me? So there's like some, based on that, it looks like there's some sort of economy based on delivering goods from place to place for whatever reason. And I think I know what it's going to be about, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Were you impressed with what you saw when it came to the rendered, in-engine gameplay stuff?
100%. Yeah, it looks like it's got Metal Gear Solid's DNA all over it, like the way they move and stuff. Yeah,
it's got the crouch walk.
Exactly.
And everything in there.
It's got that all over it, but it also it does look like one of the last games of the generation, if not next generation type game. It's that those are always the most graphically impressive ones. Like you look at The Last of Us, as I meant, from like right at the end of the PlayStation 3, and even like GTA 5 or something like that. They're always the biggest, most impressive games come at the end of the life cycle of that console. So that's what it looks like to me. It just looks like one of them games that'll just push things in a way that hasn't been done so far this generation.
Yeah, the closest we're going to get obviously would be Horizon Zero Dawn, because it's using the same engine.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, isn't it? Because it's been given to them, but they've got their own team of coders that's gone in there and they're editing little bits about how the engine works, especially their lighting team, which they're very proud of. We saw in the gameplay trailer like a kind of Snowden-esque, slaty mountainous region.
It looked like Wales.
Yeah, quite rainy, and I think this is something to do with the game. Do you want me to speculate?
Go on, yeah.
May I?
Go.
Now, it seems pretty clear to me, based on this trailer, that if enemies touch you, you age until you're dead, right? That's the thing that we've seen a little bit before. And based on the conversation in the latest trailer, it's called Timefall. They call it the Timefall, right? And I reckon it's linked to the rain, because we see the rain aging people. We saw it in our last trailer. We saw Norman Reedus' hand touch something, and the speck of rain ages his hand. He falls into the river at one point, and immediately, like, some life jacket thing comes to stop him get in touch with water. And Hideo Kojima said that the way that the Timefall affects Norman Reedus is different to other people before. So I'm assuming that there's certain people that are kind of more immune to the Timefall than others. And perhaps if the rain is, as you can imagine, if it's raining outside where you live and you want to get from place to place or get goods from place to place, but the rain was going to kill you, you'd send a delivery man. So maybe that's what it's something to do with that. That people like Norman Reedus have got some sort of, guess it's like a higher tolerance to this weird rain sort of thing. There's also these sticky hand monster things that kind of
that you can't see.
You can't see. But it's weird that, because Norman Reedus gets a rash when they come nearby. I don't know if you've noticed, but he gets this little rash thing on two trailers now when he approach. And Leah Sado's character had those like shoulder pads that had
it's
that
like spike things.
Yeah, and the spikes came kind of a bit like how in The Hobbit and that Bilbo's sword Sting blew when orcs is about. Bit like that, but this baby thing, he has a robotic arm, right? And that like has a flashing light and a little clicky
sensor type thing going on for it.
And that can see the monsters. We see a little bit of that in the gameplay, don't we, when they're crouch walking? But he plugs that robot into the baby. Plug in baby.
Like a power source.
Yeah,
one would say plug in baby. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, the Muse
top Muse
thing.
reference.
That's a Muse song.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it seems that maybe, I don't know, this child or whatever it is something to do with this, because he can sense them. He says it in the concept, but he can't see them. He plugs in the baby, and his little clicky robot arm can see them.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about. Someone on the internet says that they reckon something to do with the babies being clones. Liam, you know this? What is it?
So I read that someone was like speculating that because when these enemies, they rapidly age him to death when he gets near them and stuff like that. So I saw people say like maybe the baby's like something to do with the respawn mechanic. If Norman Reedus is getting aged to death, maybe that baby's a clone of him, and that baby will get aged to the point where he died or something like that.
Yeah, so then by the end
it's basically like a respawn thing.
Yeah, and that could just be that. So when Timefall speeds up time.
Yeah, he does like tying in story things to gameplay mechanics, doesn't he? And making because he goes so meta, like Kojima games go so meta in some places, famously in Metal Gear Solid and stuff, the end of Metal Gear Solid 2 and stuff, and then there's the boss in the first one and stuff. They go crazy meta with stuff, and it's totally not. You know, if something is as video gamey as a respawn mechanic, I can definitely see that you'd want to tie that in heavily to the story somehow.
Make it plausible in
anyway,
story
and have fun with it as well. You know, so that's definitely like up his street, like creatively. Yeah. I think it's a weird kind of horror thing. It looks unbelievably oppressive, like Apocalypse. But you know, there's obviously civilization because there's delivery companies, and then there's some theories about it being, you know, these areas being like the dark dark zones kind of thing, where
Yeah.
a lot of the world is still alright, but there are these areas where this stuff is kind of everywhere, like this Death Stranding kind of. So, but it makes me wonder why does he have to go through that area to make the delivery?
Yeah.
So it makes me think that it's maybe a bit more widespread than it being like dark zones. And it's probably more a case of most of the world is messed up, but there are pockets of like
places where it's kind of safe zones kind of thing. We didn't get all the answers we wanted, obviously, because it's a Hideo Kojima trailer. We still didn't see Mads Mikkelsen.
No,
we haven't seen him for a while.
He was in the reveal, wasn't he? He was in the first.
He's in the reveal trailer. And then never again.
Yeah.
I think we saw Guillermo del Toro going through a sewer, or he's by the sewer, carrying that baby, and then Mads Mikkelsen. He looked a bit naughty. He looked a bit like a bad guy.
He looks like he's going to be the villain.
Yeah, and maybe he might be connected to those weird floaty 5 or 6 guys that keep appearing all the time.
Yeah.
We do see like the regular like shadowy shapes, but I don't know. What I do know is we did see a settlement in the gameplay bit. We did definitely see a weapon, we saw a vehicle like a motorbike. So I don't know if you're going to be using that in gameplay as well to to move around the world.
Sort of open world, maybe.
Yeah, if you're doing a game where you're based on delivering stuff like that, it makes sense.
On the Horizon engine, which is made for an open world game.
Yeah, I think this could be something to do with it, transport and things like that. Stealth elements, you guys reckon we'll see a lot of that in there? We saw some in the trailer, right?
When he was like sneaking away, trying to get past the ghost things, whatever they are.
Shadow ghost sticky.
I wasn't
when he was like holding his breath in the cave with Lea Seydoux.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one of them came near them, they were like holding their like hands over their mouths or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, that says it's going to be like a stealth mechanic of some kind.
100%. Yeah. And do you know what? I would actually really like to see a demo. It's not beyond possibility because it's that kind of old school game designer making from the time of demos. He predates demos pretty much. I don't know because it seems like such a at the moment abstract game in some ways. Like you don't really know exactly how it's going to, like there's stealth, but it's not stealth as we know it. It's stealth, and there's horror, but it's not horror as we know it either. And so it would be good to have like some kind of prologue thing or something to get a taste of it.
Kojima. I think Konami might be something to do with the fact that the prologue was monetized with Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. I'm alluding to there, the one before Phantom Pain.
I'm pretty sure like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 even had demos.
Yeah, they definitely had free demos. I'm just wondering about like if they do a prologue, will it be monetized like the last Metal Gear Solid, or if Kojima
pre-order and get access to it or some shit like that?
Yeah, but that was a Konami thing for sure. I would say, but for this, they're probably going to be revealed closer to the time. Whether it's a slice of the existing game or something a lot more Hideo Kojima and a little small tie-in story, I don't know. But are we looking forward to it, or you're not really bothered? Want to see more Hideo just deliver?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm very much a fan of Kojima. I will play pretty much anything he makes, no matter how weird it gets.
Yeah.
Because I find his games always have, they always have something worth playing in them. There's nothing quite like a Kojima game, is how I probably describe it.
Yeah, his fingerprints are always all over them. Metal Gear Solid
He's got a very unique sense of style. Yeah,
for sure. So I definitely want to see what he's doing, especially now that he's completely free reign. I imagine Konami would have given him completely free reign when they were a smaller company, and then as the company got bigger, the grip got tighter.
This game's got 200 hours of cutscenes in it, though. I'm telling you.
Oh, for sure.
This is a box set, man.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Mike? You going to get this?
Yeah, well, I'll definitely pick it up at some point, probably after it's come out. Like I just, it's going to come down to the reviews. To me, for me, the ambition of it is so huge, and the pre-build-up is very. Although it's mysterious and we don't really know what's going on in other ways, it is very like exposed, and he is sharing a lot. He's sharing a lot about like his process kind of thing on Twitter and stuff. A lot, it's constantly in your mind somewhere. It's not like the kind of game that's announced years ago, you kind of forget about it and then it gets re-revealed. This is constantly Death Stranding is on the way, Death Stranding is on the way. You're always being reminded of it. So I think there's going to be a lot of expectation.
Already is.
Yeah. Just people are going to be carrying that into the game when they buy it, like big style.
For sure.
And we've got some serious acting talent in there. That's why I reckon there's going to be 200 hours of cutscenes. If he's got them people, he's going to want to really direct them and have fun with them, and so he's going to. I'm expecting a lot of watching to be happening when I'm playing this game. But I'm looking forward to it. What about you, Jake?
Yeah, for sure. I like Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't know, probably my favourite game ever made.
Yeah, I've heard both of you guys say that.
Yeah, it's definitely the first game I remember playing as a kid that had the cinematic moments, actually. You know, because it had the voice acted cutscene bits, and the faces were like 4 pixels, but
it's hilarious.
It felt real at the time. And all codec calls and all that, brilliant.
Amazing. Codec calls, iconic. Like, iconic video game stuff.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can try and get away with some cheeky little cameos or cheeky little Easter eggs to the game.
Someone's going to be just going, Colonel, at some point in it.
Got to be some sort of like snake reference. But yeah, very much on board. And unless I have a feeling it'll be one of those weird games where there won't be any embargoes left until release day. Possibly. And for that reason, it's probably going to be a day one buy for me, just because of his track record of being a brilliant game designer. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So Death Stranding, it's out whenever it's out. It's about whatever it's about. It's one of those games. It's so anticipated, but people know nothing about it other than Hideo Kojima.
We somehow know a lot, and also basically nothing at the same time.
Which is exactly where he wants us to be.
Yeah.
What a mastermind. So there we go. That's our thoughts on Death Stranding and the recent reveal trailer, more specifically. Thank you very, very much for watching. Remember to check out some more of our content, which should be on the screen right now. There's also a link to our Patreon if you want to support the channel. Goodbye.